Greetings, everybody. It's Jim. Hey, just a few little rundowns here about what's been going on before we begin. I got some really wild dice as of late. I got the weather dice from Steve Jackson Games. Those are the ones on top. And I'm using these dice as pre-gaming tools, the creation tools, not in regular gameplay because I don't want a lot of gobbledygook, around. I'll just use D6 in a chart. But these are really cool. So if I'm in the mood to create a world setting or something, this is when I'll use these dice. Now the weird find though, were these dice below that, which is a D6 times 10, a D6 times 10 plus 60, and a D6 times 10 plus 120. Real weird dice. And I was looking at them like, what are these for? And I was trying to think of ideas, and these would be great for silver, gold, and platinum or Ethereum. Well, not Ethereum. They would be valued much lower if it was Ethereum right now, anyway. Crypto for the win, right? But the idea is just weird combinations. You roll them. I was getting all kinds of weird results, and I know you could do this with D6 easy enough. But I mean, I'm like, this is just kind of cool, so why not? So I thought about that, and then I picked them up, and I found out, by the way, that those dice on the bottom there, those are actually from Pokemon trainer sets, of all things. So, and you get them in every set, so I guess there were abundant, somewhere, so you could probably pick them up real cheap from somebody. So also, Dungeonrunner, it's on its third edit. I should expect these cards to come in on Tuesday, and if they all pan out okay, I will be ordering all the decks from my Kickstarter. We were just short of $14,000. Thank to all of you who backed, and you can still back. It's not too late. Go to the link down below and order your packs today. And you'll get it at the Kickstarter price. And then, of course, Alliance is finally, from Columbia Games, finally getting their Kickstarter going. We're feeling more confident that the shipping problems and everything has kind of gone away now, which definitely was a problem with Rommel in the desert. We had more than one mistake on our map, but we couldn't get back and forth easy enough. Or quick enough. I mean, it's been like, it's 6 months and we still haven't had a new Kickstarter this year. So that really cut in, but we feel confident enough that we can go forward with this one and get this out by October. Fingers crossed, nothing wild and crazy in the world happening, hopefully by the time we order that. But anyway, today I'm going to be talking to you about a solo a programmed adventure, another one from David Pulver, and it's really an exciting one, so let's just get right into it. Today I'm going to be talking to you about why you should be using Till Death Do Us Part by David Pulver. Okay, so at the time of this video, there's only like 24 hours left in the Kickstarter because I just got the playtest information from Doug. I played it twice over the weekend, and so I'm doing the video now. Definitely get over and go to the link down below and get in there before it ends. But to tell you what the adventure is about, and don't be scared off by this, it's an escort mission where you're taking a princess to be married in another kingdom to form an alliance so they can work against the orc kingdom that's kind of going to overthrow them if they don't do something and make an alliance of some sort. Now, the thing is, this is David Pulver. It's not going to be as straightforward as all that. I mean, some events are going to seem straightforward, but then they're going to turn into something else. Some of them will. And there's definitely, I'll get into the cinematic gameplay elements here in a little bit. Okay, but if you're a game master planning on playing with a group, you definitely want to go through this solo and use the 3 35-point characters that David gives you right off the bat. Don't make up your own. Use David's. And the reason I say that, you could probably make up your own, but you better get horsemanship. And this isn't a spoiler. It's right there, and the hint's right there at the bottom. The character, it always says they're DX whatever, when fighting mounted. That means there's going to be some horse fighting going on, some mounted combat. And it's good because that's one of those things that will knock everybody out of their comfort zone a little bit, even if they are experienced players. Okay, because how many times have they done that? And the thing is, this actually made me appreciate how TFT has mounted combat because I had a few questions. First off, Sir Rostam here, and Sir Rostam gets into that cinematic element I'll talk about later. He has a cavalry lance, and of course, I'm thinking, well, do you have to not recharge, but you have to re-ready it or something after every attack? Does it break? Well, I found out things like only the tournament lances really broke, and that was basically, I found all that information doing my research using GURPS, which is a great resource for any role playing game. Just check out any subject. Okay, well, of course, this being with TFT's DNA, it works really well to just kind of port ideas over if you like them. But I like the way the fantasy trip does it, so I'm having it stay put. I did have some questions about, well, the higher, normally if you're higher than the other person, you get a +2, they get a -2, but you don't get that when you're mounted normally. Normally, you get a -3 if you're not skilled with horsemanship. So right there's a reason to have horsemanship as a basic skill. In horsemanship, you get only a -1 to hit. And then if you get expert horsemanship, you suffer no penalty at all. You never get a bonus, but you never get a penalty. But even then, if you go 8 or more hexes, you're getting a +2 damage to any weapon you use. If you're using a pole weapon, any charge, not just like on foot where you have to go 3 straight line, just any charge will get you that bonus die of damage. Okay. So pretty interesting stuff there. I definitely appreciate how TFT did it one way and GURPS does it. Of course, everything is verbose in GURPS. So definitely use the 3 characters that David gives you. Now, one of the things I'll definitely mention is this is going to feel, because it is, a shorter adventure than the other adventures. Now, not that the information's there. This is still 180, 200 paragraphs here. But the thing is because it's kind of like there's different paths to get to Castle Proofax, but you're definitely going from west to east and you're just trying to get there. And you got 21 days to do it. I don't know what the effects are of being late. But at the same time, it could be big or small. I'm not sure. But your characters are definitely going to want to get to the destination, and the idea is to bring the princess there in one piece. You're not gallivanting around like this was Dragon Hunt, his other adventure where you're just going all over the landscape, just adventuring. Okay, and a lot of those days, 21 days that David gives you, is also to help heal up. There are definitely opportunities to rest all around the place. You're healing 2 days for every 1 health point. You get a few. There might be a few healing potions here and there and stuff like that. But at the same time, you're definitely resting up old school here. And then, not that it might change, it might not change. There are not, because it's basically along main roads to a long degree. There aren't any random encounters in this. That might change. I don't know. But I also agree with it because of the fact that, again, you're at 21 days to get there. You don't want to roll unlucky and all of a sudden be late anyway, no matter what you do. But also, it lends itself more to the cinematic idea of this adventure that I think is there. I don't know if he's doing that because of the plan. Maybe that's more along the idea of you only got 21 days. But the way I see it, there's enough basic encounters there to introduce the characters and such, and then everything else from there is over the top, it's cinematic adventure. So any other kind of like regular encounters would take away from that. And shorter is better when you're starting with, like I'm suggesting, playing with players who haven't played before or don't play that often, so you could just get that bravado in there. Highly suggest that. So it's not a bad thing that this is shorter, and it allows for more replayability anyway. Because there's definitely different ways to get around to get from point A to point B. But generally, you're constantly just going. You're just constantly going east. So that's where that comes in. Now, like I said, this is just to test the waters and get used to it as a game master. So when you're playing with your group, it's a lot different. I would highly, after playing this and finding out the fantastical creatures, the things that happen with the storyline. Of course, it's not just straightforward with the girl marrying this unknown guy just for an alliance. You have a lot of cinematic gameplay, so why not go there? Because, man, let me tell you, I get complete Princess Bride vibes off of this. Have some fun. Play with 38 point characters, maybe even 39. Play with some over the top guys with, either strength or dexterity, whatever, and play with people who haven't played role playing games much before, or even the fantasy trip. Make this one their first encounter with the fantasy trip. I mean, they will have a blast with it. I mean, just the fantastical creatures, the situations that come up. Because the thing about people who don't role play a lot, it's easy to get them to role play because that's what they're concentrating on. They're not worried about plus one this, plus one that. They're not going to treat it as a board game like a lot of fantasy trip players would. Okay. It's just allow that bravado to happen. Just make as a game master because there's plenty of points to do, plenty of places to do that here. Just wild stuff. And when your bravado, their bravado is going to come out. It's going to be over the top, kind of campy acting. That's just fine. Have fun. Highly suggest playing that way with this adventure. Nothing stopping you from taking it straight up if you want to with your normal campaign. But I really think this is a great introduction to anybody who hasn't played role playing before. So, folks, that is, I have to make it quick because I got so much stuff going on here. But that is my suggestion to you is go over into the Kickstarter right now for Till Death Do Us Part by David Pulver, and I'll see you next video.